All right, let's go. Welcome back. Episode 4. We're finally back, and I know I took a little bit of a break, and we got a special guest, Garnet Valley's football head coach, Eric Van Wyck. Welcome on, my man.
Thanks, Timmy. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
I've been wanting to get him on, but I want to get you completely comfortable throughout the season. You had a lot going on. I know you got a newborn. We'll get into all that. But I kind of first want to start off this podcast with, it was about 15 years ago, that 07 state championship run.
15, holy smokes.
Wild, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, so my mom actually organized a bus to go out there for the state championship game.
Really?
And, like, dude, it's the first Garnet Valley game I think me, Dan, Brian have ever been to. And then I believe maybe Chris.
How old were you?
Dude, we were probably like 5th grade, 4th grade.
So elementary. Wow.
Yeah, young.
Okay.
But my mom, like, got this whole thing organized, got, like, a bunch of friends, family, so much fun. We go out there. Obviously, you guys play Thomas Jefferson. Tough game.
Yep.
But, dude, the moral of the story was, like, when we came back, we were, like, all into football. Like, Chris played soccer all the way up to, like, 9th grade.
Yeah.
And after we went to that game, man, we were all acting like, number 8, 2-5, Kaiser. Like, it was the coolest thing. Like, we were down in this basement, like, just running around acting like we were a bunch of the Jags. Now I'm sitting here doing a podcast with you. Like, it's absolutely wild. So
that's cool to hear, man.
Yeah.
That's what I like. That's what I remember about it, like the community, right? Like, and the buy-in from so many people that you would never meet, but just so many people into it. That's what I'll never forget about that. That's cool, man. That's cool to hear that.
So when you're going through that run, like, you guys played who? West Scranton first.
If you want to go all the way back, we started with Strathaven.
Okay.
And Strathaven was the powerhouse then. You know, they had the state champions. So we played them in the first round, and we beat them 42-7. And no one picked us to win that game. Like, that's how it all started. And then the second game, we go to Unionville, who was the only team that beat us in the regular season.
Okay.
And they were the number 1 seed in the district, and we won 13-0 in that one. So those are the 2 ones that people I think you forget about because how deep the run went. And then we had the district championship out at Pottsgrove, which was another like 42-20 score. And then the West Scranton, Lampeter, all those games really jumped into it.
So the West Scranton, that was against Matt McGloin, right?
Matt McGloin, yep.
And then he was like the Mr. Incredible, right? That's all they were talking about all state.
Yeah. They had some other guys. They had Hubie Graham, who went to Illinois as a tight end. They had a running back going to Nebraska. So they were special. They only had like 40 guys, but like every single one of them was a dude. It was a spectacular group.
And then you guys won on the final play, right? Or one of the final plays against West Scranton?
West Scranton, it was the fourth quarter back and forth. Timmy Kaiser had 4 touchdowns. So Timmy did it all.
He took over.
As always. And Jared Bonaquisti on the last play of the game blocked a pass to the tight end going into Illinois. And that kind of sealed it. And that was like the hype part of it and how the game ended and everything.
Was school just electric then?
Yeah.
Everyone had to be going nuts.
It was. And I'm looking back here. We got the Phillies banner of 2008. Like 2007, that's when the Phillies were going.
Right.
So it was an awesome combination of Phillies, us. There was a lot of good things going on during that time period.
Damn. And then that state championship game. How tough was that one?
They were
ridiculous, right?
Yeah. Like I just remember like walking up to the coin
cool
toss.
that you guys walking into the stadium though.
That
looked sick.
That's what I always remember. You look up in the stands and like I don't know how many people, thousands, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a sea of Garnet, and that's like the stuff. You know, I obviously remember the end of the score, but I'll always more remember the excitement and the buzz, man. That's what's special about it. I get chills thinking about it. I try not to think about it too much now that I'm in exactly. The snow on the sidelines. Yeah. It's a cool thing to think about. And it really just comes back to the community. Like going into Wawa and you got your Letterman jacket and people are like saying good luck. And it's just this isn't Pennsylvania. Like this is Texas the way it was and everything. So it was a special time and something that I still take a lot of pride in. Try not to talk about it much now that I'm in a different role.
Right.
But when me and my buddies get together, it's always fun to relive some of those glory days, safe to say.
Right. So, like, if you're a senior out there right now, and I think about it all the time, is like, I wish my class did take it more serious, but we'll get into, we had a couple guys leave for the prep.
Mm-hmm.
So, We'll get into
It's
that
tough.
down the line, and you guys had a class where you guys all stayed together, it seemed like, and then
we
you
did.
guys
We were fortunate.
went for that run. So something I had to talk with you about. I know you're a hell of a football player, but then you were also a hell of a baseball player, which ended up you were D1 LaSalle, right?
Yeah. I ended up going to LaSalle after Garnet Valley. Awesome experience there. I really enjoyed it. I was down really. I didn't have many options. Not many schools recruited me. It wasn't like there was numerous Division I schools looking out after me. But the Coach Lake took a chance on me and had a really, really awesome 4 years playing there, pitching there. It was awesome.
Now, did you have anything? Were you offered by any football schools at all? How did you pick football or baseball?
Yeah, good question. So the one issue I had was I had a lot of concussions throughout high school, and that kind of made my decision easier. The only school that I really was talking to with football was Westchester.
Okay.
And it was more of like, can you try to play both football and baseball? And we all know how tough one sport is, right? And it was something I thought about, but then probably with the concussions and everything, it was just a kind of an easy out saying that baseball was going to be my choice. Because there's nothing like football.
Right.
there's nothing, and there's nothing like Friday Night Lights. And I know you got to experience Saturdays and what college was like. I got to play in a lot of cool places at LaSalle and go to San Diego and play in Florida, and I'll never forget those experiences. But it still comes back to there's nothing like a Friday night of football. So. It really came down to the injuries. Plus, I was a little bit better at baseball than football, so that was kind of once again a little bit easier way to go to.
So then, you graduate from LaSalle, and what year was that?
2012 was when I graduated. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then right away you got in the Garnet Valley school districts.
Yeah, I got ridiculously lucky. I had a couple interviews at a couple other schools. They didn't go well, and then I got an opportunity at a Garnet Valley interview and at the middle school. It was for a 7th grade social studies position, and I guess it went well because now I'm in year 11, still doing the same thing that I did at age 23. Kind of crazy to think about how the years are passing by now.
Fast.
Yeah, really fast.
Dude, because then 2013, I had the honor of playing football for Coach Van Wyck in your first year coaching freshman football.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a funny story. I don't even know if you remember this. So I wasn't even interested in playing football after 8th grade. I was just like not interested at all. And for some reason, of course, Chris Bradley takes me up to the high school, and I run into you. You're coming out of like the main doors, and Chris is like, "Yo, there's Coach Van Wyck," and I'm like, "Oh shit! Like the state championship coach?" He's like, "Yeah, like say what up." So he says, "Well," I say hi, and then Chris is like, "Well, he's kind of thinking of not playing football." And you were like, "What? Like you gotta come!" And like,
really,
that meant like the world to me. And I was like, "Damn! Like I'm gonna go play football." And like I was done. That was the craziest part. And Chris, we talk about it, and we did that.
It's crazy how little interactions like that can change trajectories, right?
Right. That's the smallest thing you could have done.
Yeah.
Was just mention to come out, and next thing you know, I'm playing, and I play football in college. Like absolutely wild.
Yeah,
we had a hell of a year freshman year,
man.
Dude,
just thinking about
wild. That was wild.
We had so much fun. I yelled at you guys so much. There was like every situation that could happen in a year could happen. Like you guys are getting in trouble in school and then not getting, and then doing a good job.
We were so immature, dude.
Well, it was awesome.
It was a lot of fun though.
I was so immature. I was immature.
Dude, what, you were 23, 24?
I was 23, and I just thinking about what I know now and what I didn't know back then, and I thought I knew it. Like, I played football. Like, I've been away for it for 4 years. I can go and take care of this. And we get destroyed the very first game of your freshman year of my my coaching career. 46. Did we score?
No. And it's on YouTube.
I thought we scored. It's
on YouTube.
But that I was like, that was the biggest gut check in my life, and it was probably one of the best things that ever happened, right? Because like what I remember about our year is how we got better each week. Like that's the thing that Coach Mack and we still talk about. It's like, man, it was ugly in the start, but you guys got better and better every week. And like the last game of the year, I can't even remember who we played, but we just put it on a team, and it was just so cool to see you guys buy into the program. You know, like I'm sure you felt that. But man, from the start to finish, that was especially.
That was a crazy. I love the Ridley game when we were down like 8-0. They were undefeated.
Yeah,
Gary
right.
Pizzuto takes it to the house, punt return.
Oh man, the wall.
Yeah,
we got the wall.
Yep, and then I think it was Mark Peters got the 2. And it was like 8-8, and we're like, wow, we are good. And
Yeah,
they were undefeated.
that was big. That was big. That was really big. That is it. Oh, that's a good memory too.
Right.
A lot of good memories from that.
So what's like your biggest thing? So you were basically underneath Coach Ricky as like a player and a freshman head coach.
Yeah.
So when he retires, what's the biggest thing that he taught you when you took over the job that going into this year is the first year of varsity head coach at how old are you, 30, 31?
Yeah, 33, man.
Yeah,
33.
so like how do you take on that pressure of taking over the throne and just keeping your focus straight, you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, no, absolutely. At first it was a whirlwind, and I was nervous the first couple weeks and first couple months because I felt like I was trying to do a lot. And one of the best advice that he taught me, and he's been doing this his whole life, is you gotta lean on people. You gotta trust people that they can help you instead of trying to do everything. And I felt like once I finally started to figure that out, I mean, we have 19 coaches on our staff, right? And no one else in the state, I don't even know if you could say in the country, have 19 coaches that show up every day, 15 volunteers. But when I finally started to lean on those guys and ask for help, I think everything started to change in my mindset in believing in me, but also believing in so many great people. It was a tough thing to do, I think, and I'm sure you're the same way. Like when you get a job or a task, like you want to do it to your best ability and take it over. And I got to the point where I was, instead of doing that, I was calling Coach pretty much every night, being like, "Hey, I need advice. And we all know who he is. He's the best mentor, mentor, the best role model. And when I really started to lean on him and the rest of the coaching staff, that's when I really started to feel more comfortable about the actual job and what it entails.
Right. Yeah, because, I mean, you guys go in the CB West the first week. It's not like some easy game. I mean, that's a playoff team, and they're going to be a playoff team this year. And, I mean, when you guys beat them up pretty good, I was like, damn, GV football is the same, man. Like, there's nothing that changed. Yeah,
well, I appreciate you saying those words because, I mean, that was a special game that for our seniors and how they responded and how resilient they were. But, that word change, like that's been my number one thing is – I don't want to see this program change because Coach Ricky has built this up to one of the best programs in the state, right? And my number one belief is just to continue the tradition of excellence that he created. And I'm not really talking about the wins, and I know you don't, that we don't believe in that, but I'm talking about like the standards. That was my number one thing is making sure that the guys are still doing the right thing on the weekends, making sure that they're being, doing what they're supposed to do in the classroom. And I really believed if I could hold those standards, then the rest of the football stuff could take care of itself. And, we still got a long ways to go with this season, but I've just been really proud of how the guys responded to keeping the standards and believing in what our coaching staff is putting out there.
So with you saying that, how is the senior class with you taking over? How were they accepting? Like, how did they take you in?
Yeah. So I'm sorry for jumping.
No, you're good. Dude. Keep going.
I have so much to thank with this group. These guys, the moment when it was all official and everything, so many of them reached out to me and how excited they were. And they don't have to do that. They could have been like, well, we have this legendary coach and he's leaving now. But they jumped on my bandwagon and they have been incredible. They're completely bought into our program. They're bought into our beliefs. They're doing the right things on the weekend. They work hard at practice. And because of these things, you see the results on Friday night. Just a spectacular group of kids. And I just feel lucky that I came into Garnet Valley, into this role with them with me because they're just completely bought into everything that we believe.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Who are the captains this year again?
We got Matt Mazzaros, who's our quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Zach Myers, he's a tackle and outside linebacker for us. And Kieran Gallagher, who's an offensive lineman and defensive lineman.
And those guys just took control and just set the tempo.
Absolutely incredible. They're all just good kids. I mean, I think that's when you have good kids and good football players as your leaders, good things happen.
Right.
And these guys are completely bought in. But, I mean, it even goes past them. The Joe Cecchios, the Jack Westbergs, the Matt Weisendangers, the senior class has just been bought into everything we believe in. And when you see I always believe that, you know, talent's going to take you one way, but when you get guys that buy into the program and our beliefs, that's when good things happen, and they're showing it right now.
Right, undefeated right now.
Right now.
Yeah, so you guys got Conestoga this week.
We actually have a bye. This is our first bye in like 10 to 15 years at Garnet Valley.
Oh, wow.
So we were supposed to play Harriton, and they changed their schedule up. So we tried to find a game for 8 months, and just some teams didn't want to play us, and it just didn't work out. So we're treating it like a bye. Which is good, though. You know, I'm sure you can imagine, you know, we're in week 9 of the season.
Injuries,
people
man.
are beat up,
Yeah.
right? And we didn't want to ever have a bye. I wanted to see these kids play every Friday night. But we're now using it to our advantage, trying to get guys healthy and build them up for that last game of the year against Conestoga.
Now, is that home or away?
It is home.
Home,
So,
okay.
yeah.
And then playoffs start.
And then playoffs start. Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Well, if you guys are around, anyone around in the area, come on out. I mean, playoffs are going to start up, and it's going to get wild. So
I appreciate that.
For sure, man. So going off that, I want to talk about how you as a head coach now are dealing with 7th, 8th graders where they're getting recruited from other schools and they're great athletes coming through the middle school or the BYC St. Thomas, and they can either go to Garnet Valley or they can leave and then join St. Joe's Prep or Malvern Prep, where that just takes away talent from the Garnet Valley. Like, how are you doing anything to make sure those guys stay right now, or like a message to them where they do stay Garnet Valley? You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Oh, absolutely. I completely get what you're saying. This is something that it's been tough since I've been around. We've always lost kids to great schools. I'm not going to knock on other schools,
for sure.
But I think we're a great school. And what I've been, the biggest thing that I've been doing is just trying to be present at their youth organization. So, going to BYC games, going to St. Thomas games. Tomorrow I'm going to go to a middle school game. I just want to, show people that the Garnet Valley High School program cares about them just as much as the 10th grader, 11th grader, 12th grader, even the 9th graders. I talked to the BYC team, and we everyone hears the word oneness at Garnet Valley, right? But I believe oneness is a community-based thing where it's not just the football team that believes in sticking together; it's the whole entire community. And we're a couple weeks ago, the BYC team played Coatesville, and we had about 15 to 20 of our players there watching the games, showing up, seeing our youth, and that to me, I think, is something that I'm trying to take a lot of pride in, because we have such good talent at the youth ages, and I don't. Once again, like, I just don't want to ever see someone leave.
Right.
If someone leaves, I'm not going to knock them for it, but I just want to make sure everyone realizes how special we have at Garnet Valley. Next, on the Conestoga week, we're going to do a middle school night where it's kind of like the mom's night and dad's night, where they come and get to see the pregame. They'll eat dinner with us. They'll walk on the field. They'll see our weight room. And it's just, once again, about showing our program and what we have.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. But this is the one this is like my baby. I'm really excited about it. So it's pretty much going to be from 4:30 on. Our middle school guys are going to be up with us, seeing how we do things, and just make sure they understand what we have here at Garnet Valley. Because, as you said, listen, St. Joe's Prep, Malvern, they're tremendous schools, and I can't knock someone if they really believe that's the best avenue for them. But I do think Garnet Valley is a great avenue for a lot of people, and we see it with college coaches come in. They're starting to talk to people, and they're going to get recruited if you do what you're supposed to do. So that was long-winded, but it's something I am passionate about. Something that
very important.
I hope that we can continue to build off of this year.
Dude, that's awesome. Because that's the main thing that hurt my grade. I mean, I had 2 or 3 guys go to St. Joe's Prep, and it's like, damn, now you're already out 2 or 3 great players. Sure. And trying to bring everyone together, it's tough. I mean, it really affects you on the field. But yeah, I just want to hit you with that. And
well, and I appreciate you've been vocal about it. Your brother Chris has been vocal about it. Like, I love the fact that you're reaching out to me. Hey, there's this kid at St. Thomas. He's a stud. You got to talk to him. I'm like, I'm already on him.
Yeah,
we're working on him.
I loved hearing that because my neighbor, he plays for St. Thomas. So I was up there and I was watching. I'm like, man, this running back can play. And then they're like, oh, he's looking at different private schools. I'm like, nah, I'm calling up Van Wyck, man. There's no way.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that I'm never going to go up and try to recruit a kid to stay at Garnet Valley, but I want to show the kids that what we have here at Garnet Valley is special. And if you stay, then you have the opportunity to continue to make it special. That's the ultimate goal.
That is awesome. My man, I want to ask you, throughout your career, through either athletic career or your job career, your family, or whatever, during tough times, how did you get through those tough times when you were feeling the lowest you've ever felt and you just needed to change? What were the changes that who helped you?
It's a good question, man. To me, it comes back to relationships. That's what I think life is all about. And anytime I've gone through something and been through plenty, like all of us, right? It really comes back to the people that know me the best and trying to get grounded with them. It starts with my parents. My parents, my mom and dad have been my rock, since the start. And my mom is just the most caring person, and my dad is he just knows what to say when you need to hear it. And like you said, there was times in college and there was times in high school through sports where you don't have a good game, right? And like my mom was always the first person to reach out and not even talk about sports, but just have an opportunity to have a connection. So I really think those two. When it comes to the career side of it, with coaching and teaching, once again, mentors. Coach Ricky, obviously number one. Anytime I struggle with something, he's the first person I call, and he's always there. And then, now more recently, it's my wife. My wife Hillary. We've been together, we've been married for 2 years now, and she's just so supportive with this big transition. And she's just been so helpful. Anytime I need to have a conversation about, maybe even asking about her advice on a certain situation. She's a teacher as well, so she's been through the ringer with her fair share of different situations. So having her in my life too is incredible. So to me, once again, long-winded, but it really comes to relationships. And I think I'm someone that is kind of close-knit with my family and my friends, but they're people that whenever I need them, they're there. And I think we're lucky to have it. I know you're probably in the same spot with your family.
For sure.
Just having people there that when you need it, don't be afraid to talk to people. And I think that's tough for our generation, right? The manly man things, right? And what we got to realize is everyone's going through it at some point. And,
right.
And when the going gets tough, don't be afraid to talk to someone about it. Ask for help, because there's a lot of good people out there that can help you.
And hitting off that is like what it just reminded me of it is the senior day.
Yeah.
When you had the alumni come back in and talk to the seniors.
Yeah.
And split them up and kind of just talk about, so they have like a freedom of speech, like express themselves, like where it's not just them bottling their own thoughts. So that's
a great point.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things that's so cool about this program is how many alumni and people in our community are not afraid to help out, right? Like I reached out to you on a whim, all in your and all four of you guys show up. We're here to help. Like that doesn't happen everywhere, right? And there was 15 alumni there to do that. It just goes to show you that if you put in with this program, you're going to get out a lot of it as well. And that was a special day, and I appreciate you guys being involved in it.
So the least we could do to give back for it.
Yeah.
But going off of family, you just had a newborn, Jude.
Yeah.
And talk about the little man for a little bit. How's that been with coaching, teaching, and then also having a newborn?
Well, it's been awesome. He just turned 1, so now he's walking around and causing absolute chaos in our house. We're not ready for it, but it's been the best year of my life, man. Everyone says it changes you, and it does in such a big way. It's tough right now in the sense that I want to be around him,
right.
And I'm being pulled in different directions. I get home at, we'll say 6 o'clock on a good day, and his bedtime's 7. So, I'm getting an hour of time with him on the weekdays. And what it has done is made me appreciate the weekends now. My weekends are a lot different than what it was 5 years ago, you could say, right?
Right.
And it is family time now. And I think Coach Ricky and Coach Boyd both really did a good job of preparing me for that and making sure I understood, priorities and what your priorities are in season. Because you can easily get washed up in football,
right?
And,
for sure.
and forget that you have a loving son and wife there. So I know I haven't been perfect, and there, it's not a lot of things I need to work on. But going home every day and seeing that little guy run around is it makes everything all worth it, no matter what happens at practice or a game. So
something special.
Certainly right. Yeah. Very, very blessed. There's no doubt about that with my family.
Yeah, I could tell you loved your family right away after the first game. You came, got a picture of your dad, hugged your mom.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was special. That was a special one, having them all there. Yeah. Once again, I'm just so lucky to have such an incredible community around me of family members that have been so helpful to me during this whole process.
Dude, that's awesome. There it is. There it is with Coach V-Dubs. Thanks so much for jumping on with me.
Oh, thank you.
I know you have no time, like we were just talking about your son, and you're over here doing a podcast with me, and it means the world to me. I always looked up to you, and I'm going to keep passing it down as well. And if anyone out there wants to play football or you're growing up and they're in Garnet Valley and they're going to maybe a first-year player throughout the high school, hit up Coach Van Wyck, hit up me, and we'll definitely get you hooked up with the team next year. So anything else you got to say?
No, I just got to say thank you. The fact that you're doing this for the community, Garnet Valley community, Delaware County, to me, it's special, man. And we need more people like you that are completely bought into just trying to help out our community, right? Like that's what this is all about. And you're a special dude for doing it. And I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do it.
Much love, brother. Much
love
love
to you, man. You're a good man.
All right, man. Everybody tune into this episode. I hope you guys loved it. And hopefully next week we'll have a new one out. All right. Peace out.
Thank you.